what we're really fighting against as much as, you know, what we don't like. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people can say, well, I'm not going to vote, but then you ask them about the policies and the things they like or they don't like, and they realize that, wait a minute, these things affect me, they affect my children, they affect my parents. So look into the policies, don't just look at the personalities and the people. Find out what's really being said, and then, you know, it's definitely your duty to vote. Like a lot of things are at stake this year, like the SB 56, you know what I'm saying? SB, what is it, 1076, did you say? 1070, you know, in Alabama and Arizona, you know, it's a lot of serious things that affect people's everyday lives that are at stake here.
Alright. My man Shamir, all the way on the end. Are you voting this year? Why or why not?
Man, you know what? I'm gonna be all the way honest. I wasn't gonna vote. You know why? I didn't feel like my vote was gonna count. You know, and I was sitting there and I was thinking about it and I was going back and forth. Nah, I'm not about to vote. It ain't gonna matter. And then I thought, like, I'm gonna fight. You feel me? Like, I'm not about to let nobody beat me up and not try to throw a punch. You feel me? So if throwing my punch is vote, I'm gonna cast a ballot. You know what I'm saying?
I feel that. I feel that. That's all right. My next question. Harry Belafonte. Harry Belafonte is, you know, very well known. I just said he's a legendary actor, singer, social activist, all of the above. If you're not sure who he is, definitely make sure you look him up. But his voice really matters. He has a very influential voice. So if you don't know who he is, just know he's really important. Now he believes that industry heavyweights like Jay-Z, Beyonce, people like that have a social responsibility to be very outspoken regarding issues of race, prejudice, and civil injustices, mainly because they have a social influence and they have a public platform to do so. So Belafonte feels like y'all have millions of people who read each one of y'all tweets. Y'all have millions of people who watch each one of y'all music videos. Therefore, if you said something about voting, if you said something about you know, voter ID laws, about racism, about police brutality, it could make a difference. That's how Belafonte feels. I want to know from someone on the panel, how do you feel about that? Chuck, how do you feel?
I personally do feel that artists have a civic responsibility to educate, to uplift their people. But I will say this, I think we need to be educated on what they do as well. I think there are a lot of artists who we will criticize and point fingers at and not really understand that they actually do have a message in their music, or they do support different causes or different politicians. And I think in the instance of Jay-Z and Beyonce, I think those two actually do that. I think we need to really start to push the issue at the ground level with people that can actually influence change without being a celebrity. And educate those folks and ourselves as well.
Alright. Janine?
I think the difference is Belafonte is coming from a different time. And the time that it came from was a point when artists really were instrumental in the movement, in the civil rights movement, in making people aware of justice, in making it an international case out of it. And I do think that our artists today could be doing more. I do agree with what Chuck said, that there are plenty of artists that do a lot for the community. I'm not going to pat Jay-Z on the back too hard, because the Made in America tour, I feel, could have done a lot for Philly that they didn't do. It basically was a Budweiser opportunity to make money off of Budweiser, and not an opportunity to bring money into Philly, which is a city that definitely could have used more help from them. So I definitely think it's more important for artists to step up, and the ones who do need to be celebrated more important.
Okay, just theory.
D1. Yeah, so just for clarity, you know, Harry Belafonte has personally mentored me. You know, took me all over the country and really invested as me in a young leader for the last really 5 years. I was part of an organization called the Gathering for Justice. And so, you know, when Harry Belafonte speaks, he's not just speaking, he's doing stuff now. You know, right now, he's investing in young leaders on the ground all over the country and really giving us, not just from an artist, but as an activist, the things that went well in the civil rights movement, the things that they didn't do. So we can have the tools to exist today. And I agree with both Janae and Chuck, you know what I'm saying, because I appreciate, you know, Jay-Z gave money to Sean Bell and Sean Bell's family, from what I understand, and helped put his children to school. Like, I appreciate that. I appreciate, like, the charities that Beyonce is given to, but I would call that philanthropy and not really activism.
Right.
And I think, like, there's a need for us, especially, you know, here's Jay-Z, you know Fair Bloomberg. You have stop and frisk happening in New York City. You have more black and brown people being stopped by the police than black and brown people are in New York City. That's an issue that you can just make a statement on and say that you're against that. You know what I'm saying? The Malcolm X grassroots movement issued a report that said it was 120 black people killed by the police in 2012 alone. You know what I'm saying? So to me, these are things where I feel like artists, I mean, you're in front of the stage, you're in front of millions, to just say, you know, we need to stop police brutality. Like, that doesn't really take a lot. And I don't even necessarily think that your Budweiser or whomever would have that big a problem with it. And so I don't understand sometimes when, you know, why these artists don't, knowing that I'm sure Beyonce and Jay-Z have both experienced discrimination, racism, and all these things, why not speak on it, you know what I'm saying? But I do agree also with what Chuck said, that we have to get to a point where we don't necessarily need a celebrity to come and say something or make a song for us to get involved. That the fact that our own communities, our own lives, and our own children's lives are at stake should be enough for us to get involved. We should have to wait.
Guys, I'm interested.